Canada is to lead, inspire, and grow the game of lacrosse. The way we're going to do that is by honoring the game and its origins, empowering its people, and elevating its place on the national and world stage. We envision a future where lacrosse thrives in every province and territory. It's accessible, it's inclusive, and it's celebrated from grassroots to high performance. Lacrosse Canada will serve as a unifying force, strengthening relationships with Indigenous communities, fostering respect for the game's heritage, and championing the highest standards in sport development, governance, and athlete experience. Through education, collaboration, innovation, and integrity, we aim to ensure that lacrosse remains a source of pride, opportunity, and connection for generations to come. Our vision here at Lacrosse Canada is to lead, inspire, and grow the game of lacrosse. The way we're going to do that is by honoring the game and its origins, empowering its people, and elevating its place on the national and world stage. We envision a future where lacrosse thrives in every province and territory. It's accessible, it's inclusive, and it's celebrated from grassroots to high performance. Lacrosse Canada will serve as a unifying force, strengthening relationships with Indigenous communities, fostering respect for the game's heritage, and championing the highest standards in sport development, governance, and athlete experience. Through education, collaboration, innovation, and integrity, we aim to ensure that lacrosse remains a source of pride, opportunity, and connection for generations to come. Our vision here
Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the Zatzman Sportsplex in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. It is the 2025 Lacrosse Canada Minor Box Nationals on Maritime Athletic Profiles. Hi, everybody. Dan Hobson. We're the U13A gold medal game featuring Team British Columbia in the blue, Team Ontario in the red. Henley Dorland will be the starting goaltender for Ontario. Stefania Garcia for Team British Columbia. Referees are Danny Ortute and Joseph Patzer will be in charge of this one. And a special good morning to our viewers out in British Columbia, where it is 4:30 in the morning. So you're having a little bit of an early breakfast to start the day. Your Team British Columbia, they're set and they're awake and ready to go. And for Team Ontario, just a little bit of an hour's difference there for them. Definitely. As we say good morning to them. 7:30 it is for them. So having a little bit of a coffee, some bacon and eggs, and some lacrosse for your Friday. Very warm week in Nova Scotia. Don't have to tell you about that. In the midst of a wildfire situation, of course, over in Susie Lake, as Danny Ortute was coming here to get the opening face-off underway between Ontario and British Columbia. British Columbia had it momentarily as Dakotas had it. And now it's British Columbia coming up. That's White with it. White there getting a couple of hacks there. Now going in, and we'll swing it here to the near side. Back in the middle, good passing, and there's a shot and an early test there for Garcia. She makes that point-blank stop against Kajuka. And just like that, quick changes here for both teams as British Columbia will bring it down. Hamioka trying to spin away, the team captain up near the center and back to the outside. Lloyd. Doused. Good shot, scores! Justine Hong. Didn't take long to get that one under the first minute as British Columbia takes a 1-0 lead. Well, they say miss it at one end, get it at the other, and that was the case there for British Columbia as Garcia made that first test. And then British Columbia come down and score quickly to make it 1-0. Another scrambled face-off here. This time it's still scrambled, but it's gathered up there by Yardley. Yardley did lose it momentarily. Doused has it. Turned on a double team. Gathered up. Tom shot! And a stop there, and that was a big one there for Dorland. Especially trying to keep it, maybe try to get that strike here to tie it up, but that's a big save in the early going. As you can see, this was got a lot of tempo in it here for the gold medal game. That pass is a little bit too high for Ireland. Bounced off the boards. It takes an unlucky bounce. Is going the other way was Frizzle. Does gather it up. Frizzle puts on the brakes. Sends it back. Chandler looking for some help with British Columbia. Makes some changes. Coming to 2.5 gone here. And just like that, it was going to be a penalty. But anyway, British Columbia or Ontario's coming back the other way. They've got some numbers. They got some speed. This is Torbell. Left-hand shot there, and not sure if it was going to be a pass intended towards the corner. Didn't have a lot of mustard on it. Goyette! Bounce there. The shot was to clock at 8 and unable to get the shot. It's going to be British Columbia possession, and Garcia will start this. Just hacked there by Team British Columbia. Back up to center, and it's gathered up there. White White there gets a little bit of a stick there from Sears. White going in behind the goal. Clock at 20 to shoot. Back on the outside here to Leva. And once again, Garcia makes the stop. And up with some speed is Tom. Back over to the outside, Doused. On the far wing, back over. Hamioka. As I set it down low. And a good chance there for Grant. But she lost it momentarily, so Ontario still trailing by 1. British Columbia have come and had the better opportunity so far. Corbiere. It's a shot. And that's off the target. Garcia will poke it in behind the goal. 20 to shoot here for Ontario. Looking for a little bit of pressure here. Wang. Wang with the drop off. Yardley. Yardley swings it over here to the far side. Pass a little bit too hard to handle there for Stevenson. 16 to shoot. A little jig and jive there by Stagger. Good run here for hers, trying to get away from the team captain of British Columbia. Got a couple of hacks, lost the ball in the process. Shot clock at 3. Winding down, there's a shot, and that's wide of the mark. And British Columbia will get possession of it. Five minutes gone here. And penalty to British Columbia, so Ontario quickly goes up with it. 9:50 left to go here in the first. A steal there by Robbie. And Darlin was thinking about going up, but decides to go local with it. Here's a long lead pass up ahead to Fry. Fry gathers it out of bounds. Fry coming up for Ontario, trailing by 1. Pass inside again. They lost the handle. Squire was trying to get the shot. Robbie spins away there from Tarbell. Robbie up the center. Good quick pass, quickly up. Larson. Penalty coming up here, but we've got a cross-checking penalty, so our first man advantage here, or women advantage, I should say, will go to British Columbia. It's a cross-check as Talevi will go to the box. With 8:44 remaining here in the first. So this is almost, as I say, like with this being a gold medal game, you definitely don't want to go down too early because with a running clock, it makes it harder to come back from. But British Columbia on the advantage here for 2 minutes. It's a cross check. So British Columbia have a chance here with the 1-person advantage. Hamioka gets the return pass. Quickly in, and they tried to get the shot that's wide of the mark as they tried to set up Dose down low. Quick passenger shot and a save there by Dorland. As gathered up there by Kajuka. Kajuka. And quickly up. Adams. A little bit of a stick on her. Adams is going the other way, and Ontario called. So it's going to be British Columbia once again. Hamioka fires the shot, and it's a stop there, but they get possession of it, and a new 30 for them. Send it down low. A little bit of collision there is in on the play was White. White tried to gather it up for Ontario, goes down, blows a tire, so that gives a little bit of room here for Team British Columbia as they get that shot away. Off the target, 10 to shoot, gathered up. Tom, Hamioka. There's a shot, and a stop there by Dorland as she has faced a lot here of this ball, getting a lot of shots so far early. in this one. 35 seconds left in the cross-checking penalty. Couple of quick little moves and the score as they had numbers down low. British Columbia capitalize on the power play to make it 2-0. They had the advantage of the numbers down low, and there really wasn't anything Dorland could do. Couldn't cheat one way or the other. And I believe it was doused. Buried it. Make it 2-0 British Columbia. Dakotas. And British Columbia pressing once again. They have been sort of like bees around a hive here at the Ontario goal. Back outside, Sanghera. Dakotas with a shot as the clock was winding down. And it's going to be Ontario's possession here. Long lead pass up ahead. Ontario, boy, there wasn't a lot of support there. Like there was 5 British Columbia bodies back on that one. And then they didn't even get the shot. Hamioka. Larson. Shot in. Dorland with the stop again for Ontario. And a new 30 for them. British Columbia still pressing. Larson spinning away, trying to get away. Sends it down low in the slot area. Ontario, here they come. Don't quite have numbers. They'll send 4 in this attack. They get up to center, but no further as Hamioka hacked it away from Team Ontario. Olivia Wang was down, and the British Columbia player jumped all over her. British Columbia once again on the drive and making changes. Robbie. Fresh set of troops. Jensen. Larson. Oh, big little stick there from Cobier. And British Columbia whistled down. So back comes Ontario again. Here they come. Driving, looking to try to get a goal. 20 seconds to shoot. And Stadler decides to back it out for Ontario. Pass off the mark. They were trying to attend that one for Fry. Barchisi with a little bit of a stick from Michaela Tan. Pass was really down right into the feet of Henrietta Ireland. So BC ball, and they'll start it off, and both teams make changes here. 3:50 left to go here in the opening frame. Oh, nice little jive and juke from Jessica Hong as she's trying to get away from Goyette. They'll swing to the outside. Frizzle, double team. Shot that was high. I'm not sure if Dorland saw that one at all. A one and done for British Columbia. Ontario gets in the way of British Columbia, so allowed the Ontario to come down with this attack. Tarbell goes down and doesn't get a lot on the shot. New clock here for Ontario as it's gathered up there by Squire. Squire fires a shot. Garcia with the stop. And it did squeak through. Garcia had it, and then when she looked behind, it got through, and that's big for Ontario to make it 2-1 with 2:47 left to go here in the first. And Ontario's been having really hard time getting some shots towards Garcia, and that time as it went and squeezed through the wickets. And Ontario has cut this deficit in half, and now they're looking to try to get the equalizer. Under 2.5 left in the first. Loose ball up for grabs. Ontario comes up with it. 16 to shoot as they get it in. There's a shot there. That's well wide of the mark. So it's going to be British Columbia ball. And once again, both teams make changes with 2 to go here in the first. British Columbia looking to try to get that 2-goal lead restored here with Ariana Frizzle in the middle. Oh, there's a little bit of an opening. Oh, and Lloyd was going, and she got lowered there. Unable to get a shot as a big hit for Ontario as the ball goes down towards the corner. Garcia thought about poking it. British Columbia now going to have. Now they do reset the shot clock, so they have 27 to shoot. And once again, they'll make a couple of changes. As freshly off the bench is Doust, and she's got the ball now. Doust trying to spin away from Stagger. Doust has a goal already in this one. Nearing 1 minute to go here in the first. Robbie. Not sure if it was a pass to Doust down low, but reset on the shot clock, but Ontario comes up with 1 minute to go here in the first. Ontario looking for an equalizer. They've got the latest goal, and they've got some momentum build here in this, off that goal. That just squeaked through Garcia. They'll set it down low, far wing, into the middle. There's an attempted shot, but Goyette didn't get much of a handle on it as the BC player checked her just to the nick of time before she could get the shot as Doust comes up. Doust. Hamioka spins away there from Tarbell. Jensen's pass. Dakotas. Hamioka. 19 seconds left to go here in the opening frame. Hamioka. Shot clock at 1. And they do get the shot off just in time. And a big stop there by Dorland. And Ontario is going to have to hurry. 5 seconds left. They want to get a shot before the end of the period. Tarbell. Clock winding down. Doesn't get the shot away. And that's how the opening 15 goes here in this U13A gold medal game, females. British Columbia with some early pressure and a late goal by Ontario, 2-1 after the opening 15 minutes of play here at the Zatzman Sportsplex at the Lacrosse Canada Minor Box Nationals here on Maritime Athletic Profiles. Teams will just have a quick little bit of a breather, and then we'll get ready for some second period action. So it's been definitely an interesting week here at the Lacrosse Nationals. Now probably the teams have been playing in really hot, humid. There's been a heat wave in the area. That's now been lifted. But it still has made it warm here in the building. So you got to wonder where the teams are. This is the 6th game, pretty much in 6th or 7th game for them in such a short time as they started playing here on Monday. So conditioning is going to be a little bit of a factor. But British Columbia off to a really quick start, and Ontario starting to find it. So you had almost like the tale of 2 games there to start. So dandy of a matchup, and definitely going to be a very interesting game between a couple of teams. And one of the things that just before we came on air, the coaches were sort of gathering up balls off the floor here at the Zatzman Sportsplex. Coaches sort of talking to each other and everything like that. So you figure that maybe a team from Ontario wouldn't know much about British Columbia, but you could sort of tell back and forth that they kind of know each other, and so there's not really much of a surprise factor that you were maybe expecting here in this one with teams from, well, 4 province difference, with British Columbia on the west coast and Ontario right centralized. But they do know each other, and, low scoring affair. I think that probably will change, but we've had some high scores based on the week, so definitely will be an interesting 15 minutes coming up here in this second period. So we're glad you could join us here at Maritime Athletic Profiles. Dan Hobbs along for the call. Just want to get this out. This is my first time calling lacrosse, but I've seen some of it, and it's basically, to me, you have the referees indicating a goal like it's a field goal in football, and you've got the shot clock like basketball, and you also have, of course, well, hockey, because as people may or may not know, and probably people are going to say, well, duh, Dan, lacrosse is Canada's national game. Not hockey, lacrosse first. So it's got all three aspects. Definitely entertaining. It's sometimes a lot more in terms of offense, so you couldn't ask for a better sport. Gold medal game between Ontario, British Columbia, second period underway. That shot's off the target, gathered up, and Garcia's got to go short with it. Up to her team captain, Hamioka. Kinsey Hamioka coming up center. Swings out. Hong there on the outside. Does a little crossover move. Hong gets in. Doesn't fire the shot, though. Outside, 7 to shoot. Clock winding down. Hong gets the return pass. Gonna hurry. Shot clock at 4. Bouncing shot that misses the target. No goal. No goal as it came after the 30-second shot clock expired. So it's still 2-1. Stagger going. Stagger shot. Garcia with the stop. And we've got a penalty coming up here. Danny Ortute calling a penalty against British Columbia. 2 minutes. And it's a cross-checking penalty going to Ariana Frizzle. So Ontario, late goal to make it 2-1. Now, with the woman advantage, a chance to tie it up. They'll start near center. Abigail Stagger. Back on the outside, gets the return pass after passing it to Kajuka. Still outside. Shot coming! Garcia with the stop. Gathers it up. And just like that, Garcia's got to go way up, in behind there. But unable to handle it was Tom for British Columbia. Got in behind the defenders. Atwood hands it off. Snyder. Bouncing ball gathered up by Garcia. Ontario not getting a lot of pressure. British Columbia to the outside. A little bit of a hack there the other way. Sears gets rid of it and goes off for a change. Top shot! Just getting a piece of it there was Dorland. As a very good, faithful crowd making noise here at the Zatzman Sportsplex. They're all located just straight on the other side where you see the penalty box area. And now Ontario is going to go off, so we'll have even strength here. Both teams down a person. So four attackers aside here. British Columbia back on the outside. Spinning it here as Hamioka. Dakotas looking for it. Ball up in the air, up for grabs, 50-50 ball, and Dakotas bumps Tarbell. Called for the infraction. Ontario coming. And now, after Ontario unable to get really any opportunities here in the power play, are now find themselves shorthanded, but still popping here is Cobier there for Ontario. 5-on-4 a shot. Garcia wasn't really tested there. That opportunity, lead pass up ahead there. Frizzle will go down after it and almost went into the crease area, so decides to take another route to get it. The referee says, no, you went over the line, so it's going to be Ontario ball here with 48 seconds left here at the power play to British Columbia. One of their 2 goals came on the power play, so nothing much going on so far, but Hamioka hoping to change that as she'll get it down into Ontario zone. Hamioka running away. Hamioka still solo effort right now. Goes towards the corner. Bounces high off the glass. That's knocked down there. Tarbell trying to spit away. It's actually Squire, my apologies. Squire goes up the middle, picked off. Larson, right place, right time. But bodied there as Adams gets in the way to stop that shot. Still 23 to shoot. Possession, British Columbia doused. Frizzle. That's up. Douse going for it. It's watched there by Tarbell. 10 to shoot. British Columbia, clock winding down. Ontario comes up with it. And we're now even straight there as the power play British Columbia is over. So they'll go 1 for 2. Ontario 0 for 1 here on the special teams so far in this one. It remains 2-1. As we're coming up to 9:40 left to go here in the second period. Nothing in terms of goals so far, as the defense has sort of been the story here this second period. British Columbia, it's going to be their ball. Here's Tom. Frizzle. Frizzle, couple moves. Frizzle can't get the shot. Nothing there. Goes back out to Tom. Tom can't handle the pass, so she'll have to go back near her bench. Gather it up. So far we haven't had a back and over in this match. Maybe I might have jinxed it after saying that. That shot is blocked. Doesn't get through. Shot it. Clock at 2. And it's going to be a shot clock violation. British Columbia. Ontario ball. So Ontario is really sort of stellar and really not giving the shooting lanes for British Columbia here. 8:40 left to go as we're getting near the halfway mark. Period number 2, 2-1. 50-50 ball, and Sanghera will come up with it for British Columbia, but lost it momentarily. Ireland up. Kajuka. It's difficulty as it rolls towards the Ontario bench, and it's gathered up by Parker Jansen. Play blown down, but just like that, it's going to be against Ontario, so British Columbia using the advantage is Hamioka. Up to the middle, Jansen. Down low, Wong, Hong. Justine Hong. Hong, shot! And just getting the piece was Doral, and boy, she has looked good. Had some early tests in that first period. And back comes Ontario, led by White. White goes in behind the goal, bodied there by Robbie. Quickly out front, they can't get the shot as it's blocked there by Jensen. And just like that, turn on the Jets, Hong. Hong with some speed. And a nice little hack on a good stick there by Stevenson. And it's gathered up by Yardley. Yardley going in. Yardley going in. Shot! And that's stopped by Garcia as she set the pass up. And then there's a little cross check there by Kobier. Right in front of Danny Ortute, but right now we stay even straight here with 7 to go in the second period. 2-1, British Columbia, the gold medal game. Here, Maritime Athletic Profiles. Dan Hobson along for the call here. This is my first time calling lacrosse, so I know there's probably some of the lacrosse aficionados out there. Probably could realize that, but it's like this is very entertaining. And really good tempo here to this one, and I hope that you are enjoying it. Levy has her pocket pick. Sanghera going down. Sanghera puts on the brakes. Tom. British Columbia looking good here. Can't get the shot as it's bumped there by Levy as Tan was looking for to try to get it in. Shot clock at 6. 5 winding down. Tan's going to have to hurry. Puts it up. And that's picked. It doesn't get towards the net. And like that, both teams make changes with under 6 to go. Frizzle with the bump. Frizzle now going in. Frizzle! Doesn't shoot. Goes in behind the goal. Frizzle looking for some help. Comes in the form of Chandler. Chandler doesn't fire the shot and goes in behind the goal here. 15 to shoot. Chandler back outside. Frizzle, who got that turnover. Dakotas, 7 to shoot. Bench yelling to shoot. 4 on the clock now. Tom's going to have to hurry. And it's called for the 30-second violation. Ontario ball, and once again, both teams make changes. 5:13 left to go. Tarbell. Shot, and that misses the mark. Ontario still has possession. Squire, 10 to shoot. Back in the middle. That shot's blocked. It hits Streeter and goes towards the corner. Streeter had it momentarily. Ontario's going to have to hurry, and they've been called for the 30-second violation, and British Columbia will go up-tempo with it. And Danny Ortute blows it down. Streeter for British Columbia bringing it back up. Ontario there on the turnover. Maxwell. Maxwell with a good end-to-end rush here for Maxwell, but she loses it on a nice stick by Hamioka. Ball gathered up there by Garcia on a bounce easily for her. Kinsey, Tamioka puts on the brakes. Kajuka watching her. Sears, Tom, going, driving shot, and missing, but got a good point-blank range, allowed to go driving towards the net, and fired it all, but missed it altogether. And it keeps it 2-1. So goals came in the first, nothing here so far in the second. Kobier. A little bit of an open lane for Kobier, but loses the ball in the process. And a nice little check there by Ayla Lloyd. Jensen trying to gather it up. The battle of the twos, Jensen and Ireland. British Columbia trying to use the advantage, and a toe save there by Henley Dorland on Parker Jansen. 3:13 left to go. Second period. No goals so far, as I mentioned. 2-1 British Columbia. There's a shot and a stop there by Dorland. I'm not sure how she saw that. The screen was set up, but she closed the pads in time. 2 minutes and 53 seconds to go second period. Lloyd trying to spin away. Hamioka. Doused. Shot that's high off the mark. 13 to shoot, but it's Ontario. Comes up with possession. And a new clock for them is a little bit of a shoulder there on Frizzle, from Frizzle there to White. Advantage British Columbia, and back they come the other way. Coming up to near 2 to go. Somebody's lost a sneaker here. Looks to be British Columbia, so the Trader takes it, so don't often see that happen. Bouncing ball there in the goal crease area, gathered up there by Dorland. Under 2 to go. Ontario with a late goal in the first period. Do they have one here in the second to tie it up before the break? Squire. And we've got a penalty coming up here. Another cross-checking. So all the penalties so far have been a cross-checking penalty. British Columbia, who's 1 for 2 on the woman advantage, back to the power play again as Cassie Talevy goes off for the cross check. So British Columbia 1 for 2 with the man advantage so far here. Under a minute to go. This is a big minute here for Ontario. Shot there. And Dorland makes the stop. Loose ball up. Robbie gathers it up here for British Columbia. Robbie. Dakotas. Hong. Robbie. They'll go outside with it. Hamioka thought about shooting. Hong. Back out they go. Dakotas. Shot clock at 10. Hong has difficulty. 5 to shoot. Hong. That pad save there by Dorland. 21 seconds left to go. Ontario bending but not breaking. Still remains 2-1 here in the gold medal game. U13. There's a shot that's blocked. Is getting in the way of that one. Was Katie Snyder there for Ontario. 5 seconds left. Bouncing ball. It goes wide of the net. Ontario with some pressure there on Robbie that she couldn't get a shot before the end of the period. And that's how this one ends. So they'll have 50 seconds to carry over into the third period here. So all the goals came in the first and nothing here in the second. So 15 minutes and change here till the gold medal will be handed out here. The U13A gold medal game between British Columbia and Ontario at the Lacrosse Canada Minor Box Nationals here on Maritime Athletic Profiles. Dan Hobson, delighted to have you wherever you're watching. A special good morning to our British Columbia viewers. Have to check my watch to see what time it is, to figure out what the time is out there. 5:08. So a very good morning to you. We're glad you have got up here to watch the Lacrosse Nationals on a very warm Friday morning from Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. So if you're just joining us, British Columbia got off to a good start. They struck early in that first period, and then it didn't take long. They made it 2-0 on a power play goal by McKinley Doust. Made it 2-0. And then Ontario might have got away with a little bit of one that Garcia would like to have back as it squeaked through the wickets. Late stages of the first period made it 2-1. No score there in that second period, so we've seen some high-scoring affairs so far here at the championships, but this one has been sort of like a good defensive battle between the teams. And Ontario, a person down with 50 seconds left in the man advantage to British Columbia when we'll start the third period. So for Ontario, it was, as I said, when British Columbia made it 2-0, and Ontario really had to get that next goal, and they got it. And now so far, British Columbia hasn't had the opportunity, so they really shut things down. Team Ontario has against British Columbia here in that second period. You just got to wonder maybe if there's going to be some adjustments made by British Columbia to, if they see something, and probably will try to get some offensive chances. And Ontario's offense sort of turned it on, and you know, I'm sure there's probably a little bit of nerves. Gold medal game, I know, but basically those go away early. You have the nerves, and then all of a sudden it just becomes a regular game after the first 5 minutes of the period. So you get loud here at the home of the Steel Subarus U18. Zatzman Sportsplex, third period underway in Dartmouth here at the Lacrosse Canada Minor Box Nationals. Dakotas. Hamioka. Down low, shot at a blocker save there by Dorland. And a new clock for British Columbia. Dakotas here. 24 seconds left in the illegal cross-checking penalty to Team Ontario. They'll keep it down low in behind the net. Bouncing ball up for grabs and trying to gather it up. There's Cobier for Ontario. She can't. British Columbia called for the infraction and allows Ontario to come up, and that also will kill it, so now we're even strength here. 2-1, Ontario on the drive again. Kajuka Kajukin, nothing there. She'll wait for some support. Stagger, sort of double team, nothing there. Stagger with the shot clock winding down. And they are unable to get a 30-second, unable to get the shot, so a 30-second violation, and Frizzle will start it up for British Columbia back on the Ontario side of things. Could also call it back and over too. Tom shot, and once again, a big save. Dorwood there with the pad. Holding infraction there against British Columbia will allow Ontario to come up with it. Coming up to 2 minutes gone here in the gold medal game. And a very good one. Frizzle tried to go to the sky to come up as the passes are a little bit high. Ireland had difficulty with that one. Yardley. Olivia Wang. Wang on the outside. Makes a little bump there from Larson. Back out. Yardley. Shot clock at 4. Yardley going in, driving, loses the handle thanks to Jensen. And we've seen a lot of shot clock violations here in this one, and that's the case in point once again. British Columbia. And we also got a penalty coming up here. So just as Ontario killed one in the third period, a delay of game going to Mackenzie Yardley. And sports aficionados say these ones are penalties are hard to kill, especially when you could take a penalty when it's going to stop a good scoring chance, but to have a delay of game penalty, shot scores! Just on cue, Justine Hong. Two-goal lead restored here for British Columbia. And that didn't take long. You could almost say that special teams are playing a factor here so far in British Columbia. They've got 3 goals, and 2 of them have come on the power play. And they've got that 2-goal lead, 11:23 left. So Ontario will see what they have in store. If they could have a quick strike, that's definitely what they need. The next goal pretty much is crucial here in this one. Snyder, watched by Robbie. Shot clock at 7. Ball's going to go towards the near side boards. To Levy. Couldn't gather it up, so it's going to be changes for Ontario and British Columbia. 10:40 left to go. Michaela Tan. Down into Ontario zone. Lost the ball momentarily. Was Hong. Gathers it up. Frizzle has a little difficulty, but gathers it up. Shot clock at 9. Frizzle thought about it and then saw the shooting lane go. Hong had difficulty. Doesn't get a lot on the shot, so it's going to be Ontario. Gathers it up. 10 to go. Gold medal game. British Columbia and Ontario. BC back to its 2-goal lead, and a little miscommunication there as Squire didn't know the pass was coming. In the meantime, we have an injured Ontario player down in their own zone. 9:40 left to go. Well, it didn't see what happened there on the play for the Ontario player to be down. So this will stop things with 9:35 left to go here in the third period. Now, in my years of doing this, I don't realize that these are basically kids and there's family members back here watching. It's not like, pro sports where you're trying to identify things and say things. And, I don't have a number and I'm not going to guess until I can confirm it, so I'm not going to say a thing. But after a while up, players back standing up and gets applause here from the crowd here, both British Columbia and Ontario. Looks to be Olivia Fry. Taking her time. But good to see that she's walking up on her own. And will be making her way down probably to the tunnel to get more observation here by Team Ontario, and that is the case. So for Ontario now, you sort of got to rebuild, regroup after that. 9:35 left to go, 3-1. Jansen. Hong, who's got one here in this one. Hong trying to get away from Stagger. A couple 19s. Hong. Frizzle. 10 to shoot. Shot, and a stop there by Dorland. I'm not sure how, but she ended up getting a piece. It was very calm, cool, and collective. 8:53 left. Ontario looking here to try to claw back. They're down by 2 and the clock not on their side. This play stopped. 8:39 and change. And another penalty coming up here. So this trip to the sin bin for Ontario, which has kind of costed them there, as Corbiere is going back to the box. Danny Orterte and Joseph Patzer are talking things out. Nothing posted on the clock yet. But this could be curtains here for Ontario. Cross-checking it is. Illegal cross-check. 7:58. British Columbia happy to try to kill some clock here. Corbiere called for the illegal cross-check, and they have it near center. Dakotas will start it up. Back out, Hamioka. They're 2 for 3 with the man advantage or woman advantage, whichever term you want to use. Coming up to the halfway point of period number 3. Dakotas. Hamioka. 7 to shoot. The shot as Dorland makes the stop. Gathered up in a new 30 for British Columbia. That shot's wide off the mark. But they still have possession of it. Dakotas. Hamioka down low. Robbie hits an Ontario player and comes right back to her. Hamioka, bouncing shot that's off the mark. 5 to shoot. Another shot there, Dakotas. And the stop there by Harlan and a new clock. So they're getting second and third chance opportunities here with 6:47 left to go. Ontario called for the infraction. British Columbia still with it. 45 seconds left. Hamioka outside. Dakota's shot. And a stop there by Dorland. Once again, new 30 here for British Columbia. 27 seconds. Hamioka, open lane. And another toe save there by Dorland. British Columbia with pressure, but not able to get maybe some insurance goals. A loose ball that's gathered up, and a shot that Dorland doesn't see but gets a piece of it. It goes in behind the goal and gathered up by Ontario. So a big defensive stop. Now Ontario with trailing by 2. They've got to take chances here with the clock at 5:52 remaining. So the clock not on their side is British Columbia called for the infraction. So Ontario had it. They get a shot and a stop there by Garcia. Cobier with 5.5 left. White trying to spin away from Hamioka. White driving down Main Street and then loses the handle before she can get the shot. It's going to be a tip-off, so it's not a back over violation here against Ontario, but it does something. It kills some time. Long lead pass to Levy. As British Columbia, they'll change the troops here. Garcia held it so they can get that change. Caitlin Sears over to Frizzle. Up the center there to Tom. Back outside, Lloyd. A shot there by Tom, stopped by Dorland, and every stop she makes the rest of the way is big. Trailing by 2, can't afford to give up another one. British Columbia getting a little bit of momentum off that power play. Didn't score on it, but still able to apply some pressure and kill some clock in the process. It's 4:20 left to go. Tom. Bouncing shot as that clock was winding down, so Ontario has it, and Ontario need to get something going offensively. Katie Snyder runs into a blue wall. Takes a stick there from Tom up right along the neck and didn't like the process. Might have had something to say to Tom, and Snyder goes down as the players starting to look like bowling pins in a bowling alley. Back out. Henrietta Ireland with the shot that goes off the foot, and Tan's feeling that as she goes off. 3.5 left. A lucky bounce right to Atwood. Atwood got a lot on the shot, but it missed the mark. But it's get a reset nonetheless here for them. That's British Columbia. Back they come the other way. Sanghera. This could be Curtin. Scores! Rachel Dakotas. And that might do it. Makes it 4-1, 3 to go, and that slight anthill that Ontario had to climb to get back in it is now turned into a big mountain. Short amount of time, 3:06 left here in the third, and it's going to be Ontario ball, and be interested to see what Ontario does the rest of the way. Under 3 to go. Abigail Stagger. Down low, bouncing ball, up for grabs. British Columbia looking for it. They gather it up. Ayla Lloyd spinning away. Lloyd once again spinning away from Tarbell. Frizzle near center. Cross it over into Ontario zone. They'll swing it over. Tom has a little difficulty there. Nice little stick there by Corbier. Doused. Hong. Hong with about 2 to go. Sears. British Columbia once again up by 3, looking for more. Frizzle, shot clock at 4. Frizzle, double team. Frizzle gets away. Frizzle, high. And they're called for the 30-second violation as it missed the target. So Ontario ball with 1:45, 100 seconds left in this one. White up there center. Takes a couple whacks from Frizzle. There's the pass is a little bit hard for Kajuka. Ball gathered up. Frizzle, right place, right time. Has some room and down she goes. Frizzle trying to go in. Frizzle! Oh, it just tickles the post and goes to the outside on a good rush there by Ariana. Frizzle went down Main Street. But it's still 4-1. Coming up to 1 minute to go. Near center, White. Difficulty as Robbie's there. Robbie bumps her man. Less than a minute to go. Lloyd tried to spin away. Kinsey Hamioka. Back to Lloyd. Lloyd getting away there from Stevenson. Hamioka. Long lead pass up ahead. It's picked off by Ontario. As Claire Adams goes to the sky to pick that one off for the team in red. 30 seconds left to go. Hamioka's just happy to go in behind the goal and kill some time. And you can hear the BC faithful, they're making noise. Tom, back out. Just playing a game of keep away, trying to kill the clock. 10 seconds to go. You can hear the BC faithful. And if you got up early for this one, British Columbia, be proud of your girls. They are the U13A gold medal champions, Team British Columbia, with a 4-1 win over Team Ontario. British Columbia with a 2-0 lead and really didn't look back, and they had the lead pretty much early and they continued it, and Ontario fought back and they got into a little bit of penalty trouble, and it was 2-1 after 2 periods of play, and then British Columbia just found a way to use their woman advantage and come away with the 4-1 win. So we're going to step aside. We're going to try to catch a player of the game, and we'll be back to wrap this U13A gold medal game between British Columbia and Ontario. British Columbia with the 4-1 win. Back after this here on Maritime Athletic Profiles.
Yeah. You have one on here?
Congratulations, both teams. We will start with the MVP of this game. For Team Ontario, number 8, Cameron Squad. For Team British Columbia, number 35, Now I would like to congratulate Team Ontario for silver medals at this championship. I would like to invite the head coach, Stephen Ontario, to move forward. Number 1, Emily John Carlos. Number 2, Henrietta Ireland. Number 3, Olivia Wong. Number 7, Amelia Kuswaka. Number 8, Cameron Squad. Number 10, Ailey Stevenson. Number 11, Katie Snyder. Number 12, Caitlin Cormier. Number 13, Olivia Maxwell. Number 14, Olivia Fry. Number 16, Cassie Delaney. Number 19, Abigail Stagger. Number 21, Mackenzie Yardley. Number 28, Claire Adams. Number 51, Olive White. Number 54, Stone Martini. Number 77, Peyton Atwood.
I can see the
Number 81, Beatrice Witt. Number 88, Maya Barbell. Number 90, Adelaide Gray. first championship meeting today, so we're just trying to get our order in place here. Unfortunately, parents, we can't bring you down. It's not enough time behind you. That's the time we have before the next meeting. So if I could have the captain, sorry, first of all, I'd like to congratulate Ontario. What a wonderful game. Great, well done throughout the tournament. I've been watching you girls. Nothing to be ashamed of. Well done. Team captain from BC, please. So we don't have the trophy, it's the championship trophy. And unfortunately, we don't have the trophies for this year. But the next best thing, and it does to signify the championship, is this wonderful banner signifying the champions of the National Minor League U13 female lacrosse tournament. Congratulations. Team, take a moment to take pictures.
Here with Kinsey Harioka, your national champion. What's going for your mind right now?
Well, I thought the game was great. It was a great game on both sides of the end, and our goalie played great, and I'm just really happy for my team.
Well, talk about your team, because special teams really came to factor. You were able to score and man advantages, pretty much what determined you guys from getting a gold medal. Talk to us about how well your power play was here today.
One of our coaches, his name's Kyle Gantry, he draws up great plays for us, and our power play, they're very skilled, and we have great shooters, so we just work as a team and move the ball around, so that's how we score.
Now, there's a 4-hour time difference, so was that really any factor, like trying to get up early for a gold medal game?
Not really. Our coaches, they just kind of helped us get up early and put us to bed early, so then we'd be able to get used to the time difference.
Yeah, it was also like a quick turnaround probably for that. You had a game probably like mid-afternoon yesterday to morning, so what did you guys really do to really prepare for that quick turnaround?
We ate our dinner, we watched some film, and then we just went to bed early so we could rest our muscles.
So how did you get into the crazy sport of lacrosse?
Well, my parents put me in it when I was a young kid, and then I just played it ever since.
Yeah, so what are your future goals in the sport?
So I want to maybe go to college or keep on playing Team BC until I'm a lot older.
Well, you're a national champion. Congratulations. You're a captain, so best of luck in the future for you.
Thank you so much.
Kinsey Harioka coming away with the gold medal here for British Columbia in the U13 female. So, for the entire Maritime Athletic Profiles crew, my name is Dan Hobson. Thank you for tuning in, and so long from Dartmouth's Zatzman Sportsplex.